Hey, what's up? It's time for another collection update, and this one is a big one. I mean, I know I say that in a lot of videos, but this one is just a little extra crazy. So right now what we have here is about 350 CDs. They're almost all OG pressing Thrash from maybe mid to late 80s. There's some reissues, there's some 90s stuff. I'm gonna say 70% of it is OG pressings of, I mean, some of this stuff I've never even seen before. Some of it I haven't seen in forever, and it's from what I consider my favorite period in music, which was late 80s thrash, early 90s death metal. I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of good bands doing all these styles of music, but to me, I just think it all just came from that era. And, you know, not dating myself, but that was what I grew up on. I've been collecting stuff like this since I was like 12. Many of these I've had before. And some of this I'm actually going to keep. And since this is something that everybody seems to like in these videos, I'm just going to tell you what I paid. So I got a pretty good deal on this. I got these from a dude in Florida. I paid $1,500 plus shipping, so it was like $1,600. And I don't know if he was the original owner or if he worked at a storage place, bought a storage place. Not quite sure. I think he was the original owner, but I'm not 100% sure on this. But honestly, awesome deal too. He wasn't super greedy. Honestly, I probably would have paid much more. So let's get into this. Right off the top, I pulled these out just because they're interesting. This is a Slayer, Haunting the Chapel, and this is the Slimline. So this is the first pressing, and if you weren't impressed enough, it's also sealed. So this is an original press, Slayer, Haunting the Chapel, and it's still sealed in its original. Next up, I pulled this out because this is something you just never see. This is a Metallica Kill 'Em All, and this is the original, like the first pressing. So that is pretty crazy. I've actually haven't seen one of these in forever. So this is some stuff. Look, there's some super obscure stuff like this right here. This is a Blood Feast, Kill for Pleasure, and this is the original New Renaissance Records. Oh, and there are the cats. Look, there she is. That's Mrs. Vinkley. Hi, Mrs. V. Okay, so where was I? I mean, there's just it's going to take a while to go through these because there's just so many good stuff, so many good things. This is, you know, there's Mrs. V again. There's, you know, Sick of It All, whatever. That's kind of common. Original Blind Illusion, Sane Asylum. This is Les Claypool and Larry Lalonde from Possessed, their thrash band. It's pretty good, decent stuff. This one, way underrated. I think these guys are Christian, from Texas. Devastation. This is the original, as you can see, the original Combat pressing. This is a high dollar CD right here. And a killer band. One of my favorite metal, perhaps my favorite metal album of all time. And this is this is another one. Didn't originally come out in CD. When it finally did come out in CD, they just put both the Carnivore albums on it, I think there's minus one song on each album. I had this CD, I haven't seen it since. This is the European press. R.I.P. Peter Steele. Did some awesome stuff at that time. Another thing you just never see. Nuclear Assault, Game Over, The Plague. This is like Relativity too. So this is like, oh, that's a Combat, yeah. So that one's from the 80s. Some of these cases, and also on these CDs are all in the playing surface, fantastic condition, like barely a scratch on them. Creator, not sure what that is. I'm Sick of It All. Let's kind of go through here. Oh, OG Surf Nicaragua EP. This is I think it's a bootleg. This is like pre-Ignorance, Sacred Reich. original tankard. Like that's a German pressing noise, I think. Original tankard, Chemical Invasion. Honestly, not my favorite thrash band. A lot of people like them though. Another tankard, Two-Faced. Tankard, Morning After. Again, original pressing. Tankard, Hair of the Dog. I think that's from the early 90s. Oh yeah, this one here. This, I'm not even sure how much this CD's worth. This is Realm Suicide. Again, the case is a little beat up. All the CDs are pristine. This, I think, is like $100 CD. I haven't really looked it up. And moving on, we have Dead Brain Cells. Oh, there we go. Original Sodom. I mean, that's crazy. That's an SPV. Steamhammer Press. Another original. I think that is the first pressing. This is one of those other ones that didn't come out on CD, and look, just in time for the video. Yeah, she's got to be in the spot. Hi, Mrs. V. Say hi to everybody. Mrs. V. Go meow. Oh, she wants to go over there. Okay, moving on. I love this. The Carnivore, Price Killers. This is the first album. I don't know if this came out after the Retaliation or before. I haven't researched a lot of these. Reanimator, there's some obscure thrash. Oh, this might be the earliest CD pressing of Show No Mercy. It's got the combo of Haunting the Chapel. I haven't looked this one up. I think that one's pretty rare. This one, I'm up in the air on. This one might be a boot. Or it might be real. I haven't looked it up yet. This is a Creator, Flag of Hate, EP, Reanimator. Don't know much about them. The Nuclear Assault with the Plague. That's Century Media, so that's some kind of reissue. And then there's this, there's just some more common stuff, Anthrax and whatnot. But I mean, there's this Whiplash. Outside of the first two albums, which I love, Whiplash put out a lot of stuff that's questionable. And this, I haven't even heard this one, but I'm pretty sure it's probably questionable. This band I never even heard of, Sadist Crust. Now right here, I used to play in a band with Doyle Bright, who sung on this Rigor Mortis album, which I used to not really care for, but I recently revisited it, and I like it quite a bit, actually. This is cool. There's another one. I've never even seen one of these. This is I don't know if it's original or if this is some kind of reissue. Another one of these Price Killers, which I think is hilarious. Oh, this one. Oh, Angerwatt. So one thing, my boy Danny, who actually plays in this band, and that's, which one is him? I think it's him. He's actually in 9 Inch Nails, or was, moved on to 9 Inch Nails. His keyboardist in 9 Inch Nails, but was originally in Angerwatt, thrash band from Texas. And you got, original Acid Rain. Some, this is more recent, Hyrax. Another friend of mine, K-Tom. This, Forbidden Distortion, don't even remember it, probably from the 90s. Here's some all, original Accused. That's Nasty Mix. It's from Canada. The Crumbsuckers reissue. The Paradox, that is an original. These guys' stuff is pretty sought after. Some compilations. This kind of stuff, you see this all the time, but people definitely are looking for these. Those are all original presses of Forbidden. Yeah, we got some just Anthrax, major label stuff. There was this original Fabulous Disaster. That's, Combat Records. Just pretty cool. And it's Pantera. Oh, these are cool. Those are original pressings of Human. individual thought patterns. Moving on to the end of this. Yeah, so looked at those. It's time to move. Let's move to this one. This is lots of killer stuff. This original artillery. That's a RC. That's like a pretty expensive CD there. This Moshkenstein. That's some kind of reissue. So I think the most newest stuff in here is from like 2009, something like that. There's some reissues, but most of this OG, such as this Flotsam, No Place for Disgrace. Or, yeah. Oh yeah, these different. Huh. Okay, so that's the Electra, No Place for Disgrace. This one is the Road Racer. So I forgot how that worked. Then you know, Exodus. This more recent Exodus. That's a 90s Exodus. Oh, this right here is all this. You see the displeased reissue of it, but as you can tell by this, that's an OG. You can always tell the OGs by these super simple backs, which I don't know if I like them because I just like it. But mostly I think I like it because when I see them, I know they're big money. Gnostic, don't know much about that. Cryptic, Slaughter. You know, Grip It Inc., that's Dave Lombardo. Do Scented, that's a newer Thrash. They're actually really good. Dumb name for a band, though. Great band. Stupid name. Original Atheist. Yep, that is an OG. Oh, no, is it? Nope. Nope, that's some kind of reissue. This one, however, Death Records, that one's an OG. That's a high dollar CD right there. And a friend of mine who was in this band just died this week. So R.I.P. Chris Baker. Pleasures of the Flesh. That's again original Combat Records. Not one of the numerous reissues. Not worth that much though. Another Lesson in Violence. This album did it really need to be recorded? Not in my opinion. This one's cool. I don't know why some of them have this kind of... This is really my first time really going through this. Some of them have this orange tape on them, which I don't understand why. Right there, that is an original Fistful of Metal. Original singer, original pressing, Caroline Records. Super rare there. And Anthrax. Let's see what else we got in here. Dark Game. Oh yeah, so this is cool. There's actually two of these. Some of these cases again need to be replaced. Don't remember which. This is another high dollar CD. I think one of these is the actual first press and one of these is the repress. But they're both you see the different barcodes. Sometimes this gets tricky identifying these, but one of these is first press, one's a repress. Both of them pretty valuable. We got some Defleshed. Right here, the Rigor Mortis Freaks EP. So that's pretty awesome. Again, I used to play in a band with one of those dudes. Oh yeah, super underrated band in my opinion. And this is a Century Media. It's a reissue. E-Troop or Zotroop, however you want to pronounce it. Let me see. Oh yeah, this is At War. And this is an original. This is, yeah, and all these new Renaissance records, which is right from, not far from here, Chatsworth, California. All numbered, hand numbered. Forte, don't really know anything about them. I've heard of them, but don't know everything. Dragon Lord. Let's see. Oh, we got here. And here we get another cool little section here. I think that this is some kind of more recent reissue. Season of Mist. This is super early, if not the first Schizophrenia press. I don't remember. This might have come out in something else and then was reissued by Road Racer. Right there, original Corner, Punishment for Decadence, probably my favorite album by them. This is a first pressing Agent Orange from Sodom. To me, my cutoff for Sodom was Persecution Mania. They did good stuff here and there after, but those first few Sodom albums were bomb. I thought they started to fall off after that. This right here is this. Okay, this is a repress from like the 90s. There is an original Ignorance in here as well. So going into this row, you know, some of this is just, you know, stuff you see. Oh, that's kind of cool right there. This, I think, is from the 90s. This is Mad Butcher and Eternal Devastation on one CD. Something they did a lot back then. This is one that I've always liked this band. They're like probably a little weird for some people, but I thought they were good, talented. Got an original Carcass, Tools of the Trade. There's some represses of Haunting the Chapel, Testament, Ludacris, original Master of Puppets, first press. These are like worth 25 bucks now. So if you have one, it's worth a little bit. And they're pretty common too. You see them a lot. Let's see. Next one. Let's do this one first. Okay, so there's lots of cool. Oh, right here. I have to pull this one out first. This is a first pressing Celtic Frost 2 Megatheron. This here is, these go for upwards of like 200 bucks. And this is OG as you get. May or may not be the most valuable CD in here. I'll open it later. Can't do it with one hand. Oh, this is cool. This is early Hallows Eve, Tales of Terror. This is my favorite album from them. It was definitely different from their other stuff that would come out later. Here's like, oh, these are, I don't know really much about this, but I know these are high dollar. And there's one digipack, one digipack, one Jewel Slimline for Sacred Right Question Signal. And you got some 90s Sacred Right. That's fairly, like a $20 CD. Oh, this one here, Violence, Nothing to Gain. It's kind of cool, still has a hype sticker. Many of these do. Here we go, original first pressing Destruction, Cracked Brain. This is one without Scheimer on it. Still a pretty good album though. Let me see. Oh, right here we have two. So we have one reissue and one original, Dark Angel, Leave Scars. This album could have been awesome. This could have been one of the greatest thrash albums of all time, but the production in it is just kind of crappy. The songs and the riffs are great, and the drumming. So we got, yeah, one Century Media, one Original Combat. Oh, this is cool stuff right here. That's first press, Speak English or Die. Tell you what, this album could not come out anymore. They would be canceled. In fact, I'm amazed that Scott Ian is not canceled at this point. And he seems like kind of a preachy dude too. I mean, dude, read the lyrics on this. Check yourself, buddy. Moving on. Got original Venom Black Metal Combat. I don't know if this is original, but this may have been the first pressing on CD. Don't quote me on that. This one's cool. It's non-official, but this is Corner Death Cult. This has a Tom G. Warrior from Celtic Frost filling in on vocals for some reason. I personally like his singing better than what's his name, Marquise, or I really like. I loved Tom's voice, so anything with him early days is great. Original Ride the Lightning. These are worth a little bit of money now. This is a early pressing of a Creator with Flag of Hate, little combo, very common thing to do in the late 80s, 90s. Right here, this is first pressing Field of Fire. I always thought of this cover, like, I don't know, like, why they didn't, it's like it doesn't seem like they got the contrast right. You can like barely see the band members, and this isn't a bootleg, this is an original. I don't know how they let that artwork fly, but they did. Moving on. Oh yeah, right here, Dealing With It. Perhaps the best crossover thrash album ever made, in my opinion. Municipal Waste and all the other bands that want to rip this off wish they could do something this good, and never will, because that album rules. Exodus. Oh yeah, so here's some other big ones. That is an original Atrophy, Socialized Hate. I believe these guys are back together again. You know this is OG by the Super. Simple back. Oh, moving on. Another good one. Got some Entombed, Left Hand Path. That's the original. OG. Combat, high dollar one right there. Right there, there's a Big Daddy. And this is, you see more bootlegs of these than you see real ones. This is a real one. This is the first Rigor Mortis album, Capitol Records. I don't know, for whatever reason, it's never been actually repressed by Capitol Records. And as I understand, this first album was just basically a tax write-off for the label. They just, whatever, they put it out. Yeah, here's some more big ones. You can tell, like, he did sleeve a few of these up. So this is an Eternal Nightmare, Violence, Mechanic Records, first pressing, 89 or 88, came out late 80s. I got, this right here, Life Beyond, Death Row. That's, I believe, the first pressing on CD. And we got, there's some Meshuggah. Yeah, Meshuggah, that's more recent. Corner, No More Color. Oh, right here, this good one here. That is an OG from the 80s. Celtic Frost, Morbid Tales, and Emperor's Return. One CD. I just love that cover. One of the better Celtic Frost covers, if not the best. Here's another good one. Sodom. This is not an original. This is the one where they combined Obsessed with Cruelty into one CD, but still very cool. Moving on. Oh yeah, here's another big one. There's a Defiance, A Product of Society, I think it's called. And it's, again, I love these, like the little drug warnings, like don't do hard drugs that they had on all these 80s, here's a good one. Sodom, Better Off Dead. Original first pressing, again with what's up with those orange stickers. Here's another. Oh yeah, actually this is the OG. Got it backwards with the other one. So there we go. That is an original Speak English or Die. This is the Roadrunner press from the Netherlands. So moving on over to here, there's some original Overkills, original Terrible Certainty, underrated Creator album, in my opinion. They're still on fire at that point. These CDs, although common, are both worth a decent bit right now. And this is obviously a Rain and Blood. And you can tell if they're the original, they have the tan side. And this is the original Def Jam press from 86. That's when this came out. This is another one super sought after. This is Megadeth, So Far, So Good, So What. This is the original. I think why people want these so bad is because basically everything newer is remixed or remastered. So these are very sought after. This is, you know, it's cool. It's got the hype sticker. That's worth 25 bucks now. Both these are. So if you have these in your collection, they're easy. 20, you know, it's 25 is the going rate on them. And this isn't first press, but this is early, maybe like second press, Hell Awaits, which is my favorite Slayer CD by a lot. Got the best songs. The production's a little bit whacked, but I think that adds to the charm and the evilness of it. Just a 10 out of 10 album. And I believe the whole thing was mixed in like one night, as I understand it. So for a one night mix, it's pretty good. Or it's pretty awesome, actually. I mean, oh, here we go. There is that's an early 90s Defiance. This is another easy $50 CD. Couple Corner Mental Vortex. I think this is from the 90s. This is Sentenced to Death and Infernal Overkill on one album. Again, this, you know, like I said, very common. I actually like these guys a lot. Infernal Majesty. This is their best album. This is the Displeased reissue. I don't know if this ever came out on CD back in the day. It definitely was on vinyl. I don't know if it ever got reissued on CD. Again, another Violence, Nothing to Gain. We're going to move into the last box. So, and again, sorry for the loopy camera work. I try to do all these videos in one shot, first take, which I have succeeded in so far. So, or I think I've succeeded. Hopefully you're still watching. I've succeeded. Okay, so I've never even seen this. This is E-Troop or Zotroop, however you pronounce it. I actually burned this. This is one I was going to keep. I listened to it, and I don't even recognize any of the members. I guess the original singer. It's all right. I listened to it. It's good enough. Whatevs. There we go. I love the title of that. Accused. More Fun Than Open Casket Funeral. And we got an early press DRI. Megadeth Hangar 18. Got multiple copies of that. Creator Out of the Dark EP. That's an original. Noise Records. When did that came out? 80s? Yeah. Late 80s. This one is cool. Yeah, actually, there's so much gold in this, it just never stops. Sepultura, Bestial Devastation. Different cover. I don't know quite what the deal is with this one. I don't know if it's worth anything or not. This is some Bombsky. So this is Sabbath, History of a Time to Come. That's Andy Sneap, who is in Judas Priest now, and he's produced a ton of albums, like huge ones. Megadeth, Accept. He's a big deal, but this is his band. I think he was like 16 when this came out. So that's it's a good album. I still listen to it from time to time. This gold right here, gold. So there we go. That is Sacrifice. And this is my favorite album by them, probably, Torment and Fire. And what's cool about this, that I've never seen, their original stuff came out on Fringe product. And I guess like maybe Fringe, which is a Canadian label, that I think they went out of business, or I don't know what it was. And then it all got bought up by Combat and Metal Blade. But this is an original Canadian Fringe product, which I've never even seen one of these. Didn't even see one of these back in the 80s. So very cool. I may even keep this one. So moving on. This is Kill for Pleasure, Blood Feast, New Renaissance Records, numbered. I'm not sure if this is first press or not. I'm almost positive it is. I don't, yeah. If it's not first, it's very early because New Renaissance, I don't even think they're still around. Hellstar from Texas. Death Row, Deception Ignored, and that's an original copy of that as well. Satan's Gift, which is, that's an OG as well. I'm pretty sure it is. I'd have to look that one up. Divine Empire. Oh, this one's cool. Paradox Heresy. This is a high dollar CD. This is 50 bucks easy. And again, you can tell by the original. This on vinyl is super expensive as well. Original Septic Death. Pusshead, the artist, is in this band. 80s kind of skate thrash. The hits just keep coming. Overkill, Hello from the Gutter. I think this might be non-official. This would be some kind of bootleg. Zentrix, Shattered Existence, another original road racer. Pretty awesome. Soothsayer, some super obscure late 80s thrash. Original one again. I mean, it just keeps coming and coming. That is a Infernal Majesty compilation. This is a big one too. Atrophy, Violent by Nature, original press. Super cool. Solstice, this one's another one. I think this is early 90s Century Media. Might be a repress. This one I have to look up. This Virus, super obscure. Not really a great band, in my opinion, but their stuff is hard to find, very hard to find. So let's wrap this up with the last run. So we got some compilations. I don't really care about this album that much, but this is another New Renaissance first press. Workmont, or however you pronounce it. They're kind of cheesy, but whatever. And there's some of this stuff that's just so obscure. End Amen. Don't know much about that. Oh, this appears to be, I think this is actually a real issue of this. Because it's on Old Metal Records. I don't know if this one's a boot or not. Oh, there's multiple copies of this Forbidden Distortion. Let me see. And we found the one Anchor Watt fan that was anywhere. Another one by them. Oh, here's this one's kind of interesting. That is a first press in Destroy. Again, the New Renaissance. So this stuff is OG as hell. Zentrix. Oh yeah, here we go. Time Does Not Heal. This one is an original Combat pressing. I hated this album. I couldn't stand it. I still can't stand it. Controversial opinion. Darkness Descends is the one to beat. But everybody knows that. Another Kill Division in Destroy. Oblivion. I think this is like Florida prog metal. It's moving on to the home stretch. This is, ooh, that flew out there. I think that is, oh no, what is this? Oh, this is an Axe Killer. So this one's a repress or a reissue. Quick Change. I know I've heard of them. I've seen it. Haven't listened to it. Here's just so much like obscure stuff. This Quo Vadis. Oh, right here. This is an early pressing, Live on Dead. Nothing that crazy. Here we go. Another original Sabbath, the English band with Andy in it. Oh, right here. This is a Big Daddy. Never seen one of these. This is a first pressing Destruction Infernal Overkill SPV. It has to be the first pressing. Never even seen one of those. I think it's from '86. I think this record might have come out earlier, but it didn't come out on CD for a minute later. This FUTC. This one's cool. This is very sought after. Zentrix. Yeah, I'll just keep rolling through. Forte and Destroy. Did that one last little tranche of CDs. Ah, there we go. Blood Feast, Chopping Block Blues. That's an original. Blood Feast. Oh, this is great. Original Sacrifice, Soldiers of Misfortune. This is the Metal Blade. It's been repressed many times. Cyclone Temple, another original. Combat Records. I mean, this is Kinetic Descent. Super rare. Never see stuff like this. So if you love thrash, this is where it's at. Accused, and then, oh yeah, this is actually, I'm glad I found this. This is Flotsam and Jetsam, Doomsday for the Deceiver, and that is a actual first press. I've never seen one of those before either. Atrocity, don't know anything about them. I've heard of them, but that's about as far as I go. Guy has a lot of Atrocity. Oh, Whiplash, Cult of One. Must be like, they're a 5-piece in this, so not the 3. And yeah, so, oh yeah, last but not least, Accused, Martha Splatterhead, Combat Press. So, yeah, that's it for now. If you look on the links below the video, some of this will be for sale. And also, if you have a collection like this you want to sell, just click the link below and say bye to the cats. Most importantly, that one being Mrs. Vinkley. Where at, Mr. V? Mr. V. All right. Well, I guess he doesn't want to come out. Later.